How can I avoid the PDT rule? What is the best platform for a small account? If you are a beginner trader, I'm sure that you have contemplated the idea of the PDT rule. Being limited as a beginner trader is one of the hardest things to endure. The good news is you don't have to abide by the PDT rule at all. In the same vein, you probably don't have much money lying around for subscriptions, tools, and platforms either. So let me add to the good news. You don't have to pay for those things either. First of all, as a beginner trader, you need a platform that offers paper trading because you really need to get some practice in before you go live. My favorite platform is TD Ameritrade or Thinkorswim. The great thing is there are no annual fees, no maintenance, and no account closing or inactivity fees. There are no commissions on stocks. When I got into it 5 years ago, I did have to put a little bit of money into the account to keep it open, but it wasn't much at all. I think I put $50 in. The feature that I think is most important though for a beginner trader is that the platform allows for a cash account. Having a cash account allows you to completely bypass the PDT rule. Plus, there's no potential for digging yourself into a hole or going into debt in order to trade using a margin account. This avoids a serious blow-up. The only downside is that the cash that you use on any given day needs to settle for about a day or two before it can be used again. So the way I get around running out of money is that I only trade about half of what I have in my account on any given day, so that by the time it settles, I have some more for the next day. Trading small with 1, 2, 3, or maybe even 5 shares allows you to get used to your platform, get used to trading with real money, and all of the emotions that are involved in it without risking very much of your account. Just because you're green in the simulator doesn't mean it's going to necessarily transfer immediately to live trading. The same success gets a little shaky when you realize that you're losing or gaining real money. Working through those emotions initially is part of learning how to trade, and you don't want to be doing that with 100, 200, or even 1,000 shares on the line. I had a really hard time transitioning because when I was learning to trade, I was learning from gurus that would talk about 100 shares as your minimum. The reality is, if you don't have a very large account, this is not realistic anyway. You can't possibly take 100 shares if you have a small account under 2,000. I had a $1,200 account, and taking 100 shares meant I used up most of my account. So I had a margin account, and it ended up getting really dicey. I blew up my account pretty quickly. It was so easy to lose when I was emotionally compromised by the new and different experience of trading live. When I was in the simulator, using 100 and 200 shares gave me inflated gains and losses. So it set me into live trading on a bad foot. It gave me a perspective that was not very realistic. I really couldn't afford those types of trades once I went live. I only had so much money, and if I were to lose, it really ate a large chunk out of my account. When I went live, I kept trading that huge size of 100, 200 shares, and that really accelerated my progress to blowing up my account with the monthly fees and the commissions on top of it. It really caused this emotional spiral inside of me that kind of finished the job and killed my account completely. Trust me when I say it is so much better to start with 1 to 5 shares so that you can get a handle on those emotions in order to stay in the game long enough, tread water long enough that you can survive and then eventually thrive. With 3 to 5 shares, you still have the opportunity to add while you're going up if you want that to be part of your plan, and you can take profit on the way up. So you don't have to do like I did at the beginning. When I was trading 1 share, I would have to just wait for my ideal profit target, and that kind of taught me the wrong way of trading. You want to take profits on the way up so that you can bank what you do have and what is easiest first, and then hold out a little bit, a tiny portion, so that you can maybe realize the bigger gains. But that way you don't lose as often as if you just held to your very highest dream level. I know how hard it is to be patient with small gains. The big gains will come. You just need to be patient enough to allow yourself to prove to yourself that you can do this and that you have a good pattern and a good plan in place. And then you can size up a little bit. But do it gradually. If you do it too fast, you'll undo everything that you worked so hard to accomplish, and it's really devastating. Losses add up quickly to destroy a small account. Consider that if you had $1,500, if you lose $10 a trade, which is only 10 cents on 100 shares, then you really only have enough for about 150 trades. At 20 trades a day, which is kind of what I was doing at the beginning when I was trying to figure out my favorite plays and the plays that fit me the best, it's only 7.5 days worth of funds if you were to lose $10 a trade. No matter what the gain or loss is, have the goal be the process. Don't focus on the monetary gains. This is the point that you train your brain to avoid watching your P&L and just focus on doing your best. It can be helpful to write down a chart and display it on your wall maybe that includes the penny per share risk and what that will equate to in a loss so that you can quickly glance at it and set up your trades accordingly. This will keep your risk in check, and that is the main focus of every trade. I know that my math skills leave me wanting sometimes, so having it there that you can quickly glance up and look at it and just double check it is crucial for success. Take into consideration that there may be stocks that you shouldn't be trading because they're too expensive. And what I mean by too expensive is if your account is small and you only have so much buying power with your cash account each day to use, you don't want to trade anything that's too expensive because you eat up your buying power quickly. You want to keep it small so that you can allow your cash to settle so that you have something to trade every day. It really isn't fun when you run out of buying power one day and the next day something moves like crazy and it would have been a home run for you. Therefore, put a limit on your stock price. Maybe say, I won't trade anything over $25 and leave it at that until you have more funds in your account. Another important aspect of a good platform is a good level 2. You want to be able to see depth, and because I couldn't really see very much depth in the TD Ameritrade platform, I went ahead and I got Street Smart Edge. This is a demo account, so I was able to get this level 2 for free, and all I do is pull up just the level 2 so that I can see it right next to my TD Ameritrade platform in the mornings. A lot of gurus will talk about CMEG. It's an okay offshore sketchy platform, but I would suggest that that's just too much risk for a beginner trader with a small account. Having a small account makes it really, really painful to have to pay a monthly fee of $150. That and commissions alone ate up my second account completely with the few losses that I had. I was treading water pretty well as far as winners and losers and the ratio there, but those fees just destroyed that account for me. Plus, it cost to transfer things out. It meant that whatever I had left at the end of that, they actually just took because I owed them for fees. Thinkorswim is just a far simpler tool for transfers. I was able to transfer money in there in the same day. As a beginner, you want to cut out as many things working against you as you can. And I think that fees and commissions and all of that are really some of the greatest hurdles for beginner traders, in addition to some of the emotional difficulties. I hope you can understand why starting with the right tools and platform would be extremely important for you as a beginner trader, and I hope that you have learned some things from my experience and my mistakes here. I hope it'll help you keep more money in your account for you so that it can work for you better.